I'm joined by Warren Rupnarian. Warren, nice to see you.
Thank you, Matt. It's a pleasure to be here.
Where did this idea come from of checking out campaign offices across the city?
The idea came from my supervisor at the March Times, Stephen Christensen, and once he told me about the idea, I was totally on board.
How many have you gone to thus far?
We visited quite a few. I don't know the exact number, but we've been extremely busy. Last week was hectic, and this week will be no different.
And what have you found?
We found, I would say, that 95% of the offices have been accessible, but we have run into a few road bumps.
95, that's a pretty good number. Obviously, it's not perfect, but 95% seems all right.
It is.
When you visit a campaign office in that 5% that isn't accessible, what are you asking them? What are you talking to them about?
We're talking to them we want them to make the office accessible. The question is to ask why, because I think there's a preconceived notion in society that if you have a disability, you can't be a productive member, and that's just not the case. And when places are inaccessible, it reflects this mentality, which is what we're trying to break down.
So you ask them why they're in an office that's not accessible?
Exactly.
And what are they saying?
Usually we get responses like it costs too much, or it's hard to get office space because of the short time period the office is there for, which is understandable, but to me it's a scapegoat.
So are they admitting that this is a problem that they're aware of, or are they just think, it's not something that we even thought of?
No, the thing that's been so positive is that they admit that it's inaccessible, and they want to make the change. They want to make it accessible, and they are most are sensitive to the issue.
Most. You've received some defensive feedback when you've been asking about this as well.
Well, we've had some unfortunate experiences, but I think that's just due to the unawareness or lack of sensitivity to the issue, and I think awareness training is required for those people that aren't accessible or aren't sensitive to the issue. But I think that's what makes the initiative so important, is because if all places were accessible, it would defeat the purpose of the initiative.
Can you tell me about the experience of going to John Godfrey's office?
Sure. Well, that was a very interesting experience, to say the least. When we got to the office, there was a huge curve followed by a flight of stairs, which was unfortunate. And then we waited outside for a few minutes, and then the campaign manager finally came down, and we explained to her what the Warren's World Initiative was all about. And she did say that, she did acknowledge it was inaccessible and that they would make changes. But the fact that it wasn't accessible at the time was completely unexpected and unfortunate. Like, I've never seen an office that was that inaccessible. So it just reinforced to me the importance of the initiative to raise awareness.
You're blogging about this. You're writing about it on the web. Why are you doing that?
Because I want it's just another way to get people informed about accessibility issues. It's fun, creative, and it's all on the website, which can be seen at www.warrensworld.ca. You can see my blogs there, as well as me in action in a video where you see me interviewing candidates and asking them questions about accessibility.
Are they considering, after you speak with them, are they interested in considering issues of accessibility in this campaign? There are a lot of different issues that people have put on the table.
Well, the response that we get is that they are in support of a Canadian Disabilities Act, which is our ultimate goal with this initiative. But in terms of this campaign, there have been there has been positive response. Two candidates have told us that they would actually bring it up right away, or they would introduce it as a bill, as a separate bill, if it wasn't if an act couldn't be accomplished. So there has been good response.
What would that act do for you?
A Canadians with Disabilities Act would be so wonderful, not only for me, but for the whole community, because I think an act is important because it eliminates barriers on all levels. For example, getting into a building is just half the battle. There's more barriers that could exist after that, such as employment barriers, attitude barriers, the washroom may not be accessible. It encompasses all of these things. So it's about breaking down barriers on all levels and ultimately creating a more inclusive Canada.
You have about 6 days left in the election campaign. You're going to be going to more offices until the election day.
Indeed.
Good luck.
And I also want to point out that this initiative would not be possible without the March of Dimes, because you see their mandate is creating a society inclusive of people with disabilities, and it was a perfect field placement for me because it coincides with my passion of helping the disabled community in any way that I can. And I would like to thank Liberty Motor for providing my transportation, Neil Primecoot, who is the editor of fornbc.com, which created my site. So if you needed a good website, to just give him a call. And I'd also like to thank Kristen Kalich for her wonderful photography.
Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
All of the information available on his website, again, warrensworld.ca, Warren Ripnarian, advocating for disability rights. And if you're running in the federal election, there's a pretty good chance that he is coming to a neighborhood or campaign office near you.